front office has to put together the team they think can win on the field, and you can't sell sunshine and lollipops to what you're expecting. So will the offense be improved? We'll start there. And Neander said yes, he believes the offense will be improved. He said a lot of people won't like what he said next is that we believe that the improvements we made can get us to about average offense, maybe a little bit more. He goes, but that's what we feel we need to win. He talked very much common sense. He said, um, when you look at the floor at catcher, center field, and shortstop last year, the defensive positions, they said they believe they raised the floor of those three positions with the bat without sacrificing the defense, which was big. And he also said, uh, if you go back, and this is very true on Neander's part, and we could parse it out, but he said in 2022 the offense didn't score. They went into the offseason, they didn't do much. They decided they were going to after discussing things, they decided to give Josh Lowe and Luke Raley a chance and some other players a chance, and they ended up scoring 825 runs by doing very little. He goes, this year they believe with Junior Caminero and a healthy Josh Lowe and Brandon Lau and Yandy Diaz and Caminero and Diaz at the corners, raising the up the middle with Kim and with Jansen and with DeLuca. He believes that group can get to an average or slightly above average offense. So when you say, does he believe the offense is improved? I believe that he answered it by saying yes, but he didn't say, I want to give you 6 runs a game.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Dovetailing onto the offense part, when you really look into last season, the Rays were about 12th or 13th, maybe 14th in Major League Baseball in plate appearances with runners in scoring position. That is the key to scoring runs. They were 29th in baseball or 30th in baseball, I think 30th in OPS and 30th in batting average with runners in scoring position. One of the lowest averages with runners in scoring position in 40 years, going back to like 1983 Mets, I believe. Okay. So, if you want to look at an offense, and they asked Cash, if you could replay 2024, what frustrated you most? What can you improve the most to improve the team? He said, get the runner from third home. So
Sometimes it's not that complicated. It's just that, yeah. And I
yeah.
mean, I agree. I agree. If I think if this offense is around, yeah, 15th best in the majors, if it's around that, this rotation is good enough to, and this bullpen is good enough to carry us to the playoffs. That's all we need. And unfortunately, we didn't do that last year, but hopefully you're right. The improvements that we've made can get
The
us to
other
that point.
the other thing to look at is I know the offense gets blamed for not taking the Rays back to the playoffs and only winning 80 games, but we got to go back in time. The bullpen really was poor for about 7, 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I would like to say a month or
Hmm.
two. And people will say, well, what are you talking about? The bullpen. And I'll say, well, the opening day bullpen was basically gone the second half. Davinsky was gone, Phil Matan was gone, Waguespack was hurt,
Fairbanks was
Fairbanks was
hurt.
hurt.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Kelly opened in Durham last year. The whole bullpen was gone.
Yeah.
It pretty much shows that the Rays were like, look, this didn't work. Davinsky and Matan and, Poche was around, but he got hurt. You know,
Adam was, we traded Adam
we
and
traded Adams and you had
mhm.
Clevenger around. So you had basically Clevenger and Poche. When Poche got hurt and Fairbanks got hurt, what did you have from the opening day bullpen? You had nothing. So
Yeah.
I think the Rays recognized it mid flight. I still can't believe some of last year's offensive woes